Hello everybody and welcome back to Coloring with Haley. It's time for our finished pages from January, and as you can see I've already got my Valentine's Day tablecloth out and ready. Before we do finished pages though, I am going to show you my haul for this month because it's just one thing. I got the Faces in the Forest portrait coloring book by Jen Racine, and I have to admit Doug was ordering some stuff off Amazon and he said give me the name of a coloring book and I'm going to order it for you since I'm putting in an order. So I looked around on my wish list and yeah, I did pick this one out because there's a frog on the cover and I was like, well, I could do this for Froggy February. But I actually am very, very glad that I chose this book because this has some really interesting, unique portraits in it. This book is fantastic and I do have a full flip through on my channel up for this book. But if you're someone that likes portraits in nature, definitely check this out. I'm really glad that I was just like, oh, frog, I'm going to get this book. So, before the finished pages, I will show you my markers that died, unfortunately, this month on me. Again, a lot of green. You can tell that I use green a lot. So I've got just a regular Sharpie. This one actually still has the tag on it from when I paid for it, so it's lime. If you buy them individually at Office Depot, you get the names of them. If you buy them in like a set, you don't know the name, but this is lime. And I lost some Bic Intensity and Forest Green, Cloud9 Gray, Summer Melon, and then I lost my first Ohuhu marker. These have lasted a really long time. This is number 31, which I think, according to this little sheet over here, has a name. Let me see. Yeah, dark yellow. And I do use this color a lot. So these actually lasted a really long time, but it is gone. Like, there's nothing else I could get out of this, even if I removed the nib and tried to put a little more alcohol in this. This one is gone. So let's start out with the pages. I will show you my journal that I've got right here at the end of the video, and we'll talk about the goals and stuff for this month. First up, I have 2 pages out of Space Girls and Aliens by Deborah Muller. Misty over at Country Gals Coloring Place, and I have done a lot of buddy colors in this book. In fact, almost every page I've done in this book has been a buddy color with her. And we decided that we would try to finish this book this year because we should be able to get it done if we do 2 pages a month, and I'm not trying to finish any other books right now. So we thought just do buddy colors in it until we get it finished this year. So I picked out both of the pages for this month. And this is the first one. We have our space lady. She's not one of the aliens, she's just the space girl, but she does have like an alien here, like she's conquered this planet, which I just made kind of a regular old rock planet. Again, using kind of my Ohuhu markers, and I did use paint on here. It is the outlines of the clouds in green. I thought I would just make them, I don't know, it's an alien planet, you can do whatever, so they got fun green clouds. Maybe they're not great to breathe in, maybe that's why she's got the helmet on, or maybe they're fun, who knows. That's all of the paint. The white highlights on her body were actually done with a white gel pen this time around. And then a ton of glitter on the stars. You know what? That's not all the paint. I lied. For the, what do we call it? The trail of the shooting stars, I did use paint on those to make them the same color as whatever glitter I used on the stars. So you can see that they have like pink, blue, and red glitter. That was the colors of the paint as well. You guys know I'm not a background person, so I try to put in some details to make the background interesting because I don't want to use like one marker to just color all that in. And then next we did this alien girl. I decided to make her an alien. She does have the antenna, but she's not as alien looking as some of the other girls in this book, so she could be just a girl, but I decided with the antenna we're going to make her an alien. And I love how she turned out. I used a lot of pink and purple on this page. Even my volcanoes down here have pink lava in them. Once again, there is paint on this page. It's on her boots. I did the details on her boots outlined with pink paint. The ring around this little planet here is done in purple. The highlights on this were once again gel pen. And for this one, for the shooting stars, I made the tracks for them glittery like the stars. And she's got some glitter around her antenna here. Deborah Muller had already drawn in little black lines around the antenna, I guess to draw attention to them, but I took it as to meaning they were like glowing, like they were lighting up or something, so I made them glittery. It's such a small amounts of glitter that I'm not sure that the antennas are going to show up on camera as being glittery. But you can see there's even glitter on the gun over here. And then I did like a big pink moon. And she's got eyeshadow on as well that's glittery. Next book for this month is Country Life Color by Colors by Kira Schursneva. And I kind of went crazy in this book. I think I colored 5 pictures in it this month. I don't know why. I was just really, really into this book and having like a ton of fun with it. And you're going to notice that the pictures do go in order. I had already colored a couple pictures in here, and I decided to just start doing it in order. So, we have the cover page here, which I like looking back at the cover page and then comparing mine, because it just shows the difference in what I interpret as like a dark green and what she interprets as a dark green. And there's going to be a little bit of light, I guess is the way to word it, reflection on the page, kind of, because these are that nice, shiny, quality paper. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to like position this so that it gets, so you can just see it without the reflection on it. There we go. So that's the first page. We've got this girl and her rose garden, and she's got her little cat down there and the rooster. And then next we have this one, which just has kind of like all of your farm animals. We've got our goose down there with all the babies. I think it could be a duck maybe. I think it's a goose though. We've got our cat up here, our dog who's of course chasing them around. Really like this page. These are always very, very colorful. She almost on each page almost includes the entire selection of colors. The only thing missing on this one, I think, is just regular old red. So I do like that she does include as many of the colors as she can. This one is the favorite one that I did this month, this girl picking peaches. I don't know why this one in particular is my favorite. I think I just really like the combination of colors, and I like eating peaches, so I'm like partial to the page already. This one just came out really well. The markers for this one just laid down really smooth and everything. So this one, definitely my favorite that I did this month out of this book. And we're going to skip a page because I had already done it. We've got our girl here in the hay. If I could get the tab off, there we go. I like this one as well. Again, it's kind of a basic picture, but she still included, you know, a huge range of your color options. So this one's super cute. Really enjoy this one. And then we skip another page to get to our little shepherd girl here. She's got either a little goat or a little lamb. I was calling it a goat because he is more brown in color, and I do think a little lamb's being white. But this was also, like I said, with the other ones, a really fun, colorful page. I don't have many more of the horizontal pictures left. Oh no, these are vertical, yeah. I don't have any more of the vertical pictures left. I think I have 2 left, and then it's all just horizontal. So I guess I'm a little over halfway through this book because I decided to do so many this month, but I was just having a good time with it, and I just kept coming back to it. And then I decided to color a page out of Chibi Food Girls by Coco Wyo, which I got for Christmas, so this book was new to me. I did this ice cream page here, and you're probably wondering why my ice cream is green. I did it as matcha or green tea ice cream because I was just really craving some when I looked at this picture. And I am happy with how it turned out. It was a little bit hard to get the color right, I think, but I think I got it down pretty good. This was just basic markers. I didn't even do anything fancy on this page. I just laid down some color. I did do a little bit of shading for the whipped cream down here rather than leaving it just solid white, but yeah, nothing really fancy on this page. The only time I used any paint is the seeds of the strawberries. I used just a bit of yellow paint, and there's not even any glitter on this either. It's just that little bit of paint there. But I'm happy with how it turned out. I kept it kind of pastel colors, keep it a little cutesy. I colored several miniatures this month. Some of them are in the 50 winter miniatures, of course. This one here, I think, is one of the last pages that I colored for this month. I've got my little dog who is ready to go outside in the cold. He's all dressed up in his hat, his scarf. He's got an extra pair of mittens. Maybe they are for you. Maybe they're for his friend. I don't know. He's already got some on his front feet there. I really like how my dog turned out. I didn't think of a particular dog is what I'm trying to say. I just kind of like a little mutt different colors here. Usually you see me color the dogs that have the upright ears and the curly tails as Finn. I am very partial to doing that. But when it comes to little floppy-eared dogs, I'm never so sure what to color them as. So he's just a dog. He's not any dog that I've ever owned, but he is super cute. He kind of looks like a dachshund, and I would love to have a dachshund. There is some glitter on here. The scarf and the gloves there have glitter on them. And I just went with a blue color theme because I feel like blue and brown go together very well. And once again, I did the outlining with the water-based markers. I'm just using Crayola Super Tips, and I really love how that turns out. It kind of does just a bit of shading, you know, here under his hat, it's on his ears, in places that you would see a bit of a shadow. And I love how that turns out. I didn't do anything to the background. I know it's kind of plain, but there wasn't anything there, so I just did the dog. This was one of the first pages that I colored because I had to break into my pastel Ohuhu markers. And you guys know that I like to do animals as natural colors, but I mean, what color are you going to do a polar bear really other than white? So I went ahead and kind of broke my own rules and did some colorful polar bears here with the pastel markers, and I love how they turned out. They turned out so cute, and I even themed their little hats and gloves after the colors that the bears were themselves. I think that everything is a pastel marker. I think I even did the iceberg. I know that the moon and the ice dripping from the stars is for sure, but I'm pretty sure that even the iceberg is the pastel set. Very happy with how this turned out. Again, with the outlining, with the water-based markers, and a bit of glitter there on the stars. I didn't do it for the moon, just the stars. No paint on this one. Didn't feel like doing, well, no, once again, I lied. There's just a bit down here to get the idea of the water. There we go. No other paint though, yeah. I didn't do their hats. Occasionally I will outline the white of the hats with paint, but I wasn't feeling it on this one. I was like, you know what? I've already done enough. And I am happy with how it turned out. And then we've got this page here that I turned into a New Year's page. I would assume that it was supposed to be a New Year's page. This is the winter book, and she has a lot of Christmas pages in here, and then you kind of have, this is one of your last pages, so I'm assuming it was meant to be for New Year's, and that is definitely what I colored it as. I didn't have any other New Year's pages this year, so I've got my little rabbits here celebrating New Year's Eve. This has a ton of glitter on it, as you can probably already tell. All of the fireworks and then the little sparklers they're holding are done in glitter. And I left the center of the sparklers white because if you've ever held a sparkler, you know that they're kind of that bright white light in the middle, and then the color is kind of around the edges, sort of like looking into a very bright fire where the color is more intense as you go outward. That's what I was trying to capture there, and I do think it turned out good. This is one of the pages where I did that white outline with paint around the fluffy parts of their hats that I was talking about with the polar bears. I did the snow with kind of a blue highlight color there. When she does snow, I only color the parts of the snow where Camellia has the black dots, rather than coloring the whole thing as a sort of shading. And I picked blue for this one because I do tend to do like a light gray or a cream color, but I thought, you know what, it's nighttime, it would be like a night sky, so I think the snow would be reflecting a little bit of blue. And once again, the marker outline done with my Crayola Super Tips, and there's a little bit of paint on the lines coming from the fireworks to make that the same color. I'll show it up close to the camera so you can kind of see it because it is thin, but those are my cute little bunnies celebrating New Year's. And then I actually did come back to 50 Christmas miniatures. I found a couple of just like winter themed pages in here because I don't know about you guys, but when the holidays are over, they are over for me. So I managed to find a couple winter pages, and this is some mice in a little skate. They look super cute. I also kind of went all out with my pastels on this page. And this is one where I went all out with the white paint to do the fluffy hats and the top of the skate there. There's a bit of glitter on the, I don't know what part of the shoe you would call it, where the laces connect to go into the shoe. Those metal rings, I did those in glitter because they would be, you know, metallic. And then I did his little rope that he's kind of holding on the shoe with in glitter as well. And then I did some highlights on the shoe in white gel pen. And the outlining in the water-based markers. And then I did this page here with the snowman because we were supposed to get some snow. We never did, but now that I'm filming this, we're supposed to get like an ice storm, so maybe this would have been a more appropriate picture for February. But I did the little snow woman here, and what I think is supposed to be like a little snow dog down here. I wasn't sure looking at the picture, but after coloring it, I think it's a dog, or maybe like a cat. But this one, I used the pastel colors again. They're very good for winter, very good for snow. And I did the same technique where I just did the dots that she puts in as kind of a shading, but I themed these snow colors around the colors that each of these two are wearing. So since she's wearing more purple and pink, she's got a purple snow tint, and the little dog or critter down here has a blue one. And then there is glitter on the snowflakes. I like doing her big snowflakes in glitter because I think it turns out super nice how intricate they are. And there is, of course, some highlights in a couple of places, like on the buttons. And for this one, it doesn't really show up too well because it is on a white page. It's not going to show up on camera. If I put it close enough, you might be able to tell. The hats were a bit different. Rather than being fluffy, they were more kind of hairy. So I did like hairs on them in the white pin. It's a little hard to see on camera, but trust me, it's there in person. But this is a super cute page, although like I said, maybe it would have been better fitting for February because we didn't get that snow. I came back to Sci-Fi Babes to do a page out of here because I have like 5 pages left. I'm looking to finish this book. This is a weird one. This is one of the more weird girls. This is Susie Squirrel. She's 3 squirrel years old and lives in a tree. Both of her parents are also squirrels. So she's like in virtual reality almost, because it kind of looks like she's wearing like a virtual reality headset. And she believes she is a squirrel. So I tried to make her skin tone and the squirrel's fur the same color because I wanted it to seem like she was really turning into the squirrel. She definitely missing some facial features that makes me think she is. Like she doesn't have a human nose anymore. I've just got the squirrel nose on screen and then the big squirrel eyes. Her teeth are becoming squirrel teeth too, and I kind of made them a yellowish tint because rodents always have, I kind of think of them as having like those big yellow teeth. And I even did her hair here as kind of a squirrel hair color as well. I just wanted her to seem very much like a squirrel, although she kind of has like part of her brain sticking out here. This kind of reminds me of, if any of you guys ever read any of those Animorphs books where the kid on the cover is like turning into an animal. This page reminds me as if though she was like caught in the middle of turning into the squirrel. So this is a very, very weird one, and there's just a bit of glitter on the piece of jewelry she has there in her cheek. And then some white paint to do the whiskers of our squirrel here, and then some highlights on her lips. Very bizarre one, but I had a lot of fun. Michelle from Kits and Caboodles is doing an ABC color along, and this month's letter was A, so of course I did an axolotl. And we've got our axolotl here eating pizza. Unfortunately, I was using one of those Sharpies on it, and you can kind of tell where it started drying out there. But oh well, this is still a really cute page regardless. I did my green axolotl eating his like pepperoni, mushroom, olive pizza. This was just a basic coloring. I didn't do much for this one. I just felt like throwing some markers onto the page and doing like a cutesy page. There is a bit of glitter though in the sparkles on the background. I kind of make sparkles glittery. And then a bit of white highlights on him and on the cheese that's dripping off the pizza. But yeah, this was just a basic, straightforward coloring page that was A for axolotl. And it was fun. Next up, I have Whimsy Girls Around the World. This is another book that I got for Christmas, another new one to me. And I picked to do this ancient Greek beauty because I went to an art museum at like the very, very beginning of this month. And they had a lot of ancient Greek artifacts. And I was very inspired when I came home to color a page like this. And I love how this one turned out. This one turned out fantastic. I did do the more difficult version of it. Here is the simplistic one, just so you can see. I did use the pastel markers for the background, especially the sky and the... She's probably setting in front of like a famous Greek landmark, but I couldn't tell you what it is. So like the columns that she's sitting in front of, I did in pastel. Same with her dress. I did the shadows in pastel because I did want to leave it white. I did actually look at some stuff on Google for the clothing and hair colors and like makeup people would have worn in ancient Greece, and they really kept it rather basic. They would have worn a colorful shawl over the white clothes with a more basic nude style of makeup. So that's what I went with. And then I did add some glitter to it though. There was some details. I don't know if it'll show up quite on camera because it's not a lot of glitter, but the detailing here within the dress is done in gold. And then for down here, I did the classic black and orange pottery. She's got her olive oil, the olives, our bread, our grapes. I can't remember what this is called. I did have to Google it. It's some sort of fish sauce that I cannot remember the name to, and it had a red color on Google, so that is the color I made it. But I did do some research on this page before I colored it, because I just wanted it to be, you know, nice and accurate. And I am, like I said, I am in love with how this turned out. Probably one of my favorites. Next, I have another new book to me. This is Kawaii Animals by Kiki Mofu, I believe is the name, because it's not on the book. This is a very, very simple book, so this was a very, very simple little page. I did this dog with all of the space stuff around him. I did a lot of space pages this month, as you can tell. And I put a sticker on here because this little line didn't lead to anywhere, so I just put this little bear on a cloud sticker down there, just kind of add a little bit of details. This was just basic marker, put it on the page, didn't take me very long to do. A little bit of glitter on some of the stars and like the exhaust coming from the spaceship. And then some paint outlining this comet here. This is just, like I said, this is a simple, basic, easy book, but it was still fun to color. And then the last book that I colored in, hang on, my books are like about to come crashing down over here. I have them piled up. Let me fix that. There we go. That I colored in this month, there we go, is Easy Christmas. I found a few kind of just winter pages in here. So, oh, already missed one. Let me go back to that in a second. I did do this swan. I suppose that this could be kind of Christmassy, but it could also just be wintry. We have a bunch of swans and geese in the ponds right now that are hanging around, especially the Canadian geese. So, you guys know how I color these. Just lay down the marker and follow the shading guidelines that are already there. Didn't do the background because it's just a big empty white space. There isn't even any shading on the background to kind of indicate where you would shade like a sky, so I just left it blank. Okay, let me go back to the tab that I missed. Here we go. It was my hot chocolate, coffee, tea, whatever you want to call it, page with the cookies. I love coloring the food in these books. It turns out so well. This has like converted me into someone that likes coloring food, which is why I'm doing a color along for food in September. But this one turned out really good. I did different types of cookies. We've got our chocolate chip, our Hershey's Kiss one, and then I did this one as like a Valentine's Day kind of one because the page wasn't intentionally Valentine's Day, but it kind of turned out that way with the mug being pink and everything. And I did caramel sauce on this. Looks so tasty. And then, of course, I had to do this other cookie pages in here with the really good looking chocolate chip cookie. Like, the hot chocolate chips are melting as you pull it apart, and I love how this page turned out as well. You got your flour, your sugar, your butter, your chocolate chips, your eggs, your vanilla. You got all the ingredients here to make your really good cookie. These pages just turn out so good when you kind of follow the basic shading guidelines that are already there. So I love coloring those. We'll take a look at my journal here real quick. Let me open it up to January. So, I had some goals to color 15 pages. Well, I know I completed that, but let me see here. I forgot to check mark it. I wanted to color in Sci-Fi Babes and color in an uncolored book, which I actually colored in 3 books that were uncolored in. That is quite a bit for me. And then I actually had some video ideas listed here, and I got to film all of them, and I marked down that I participated in the alphabet color for 2022 with A for axolotl. This is my spread for this month. You can see I was kind of all over the place this month on coloring pages on different days. And then it kind of, the last week here, really trailed off because I started college, and I've been a little bit busy with that, so I took a break to just get some college stuff done. But I will be back strong for Froggy February, don't worry. And just a quick rundown, I colored 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 pages this month, which is a decent amount, especially for me taking kind of a whole week off. But don't worry, I am prepared for Froggy February, and I'm coming in full force with all the frog pages. And I can't wait to see what you guys plan on doing for Froggy February. But here are all the books I colored in this month. Quite a range of books and a nice amount of pages, especially for how busy I was. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.